How was your Christmas?
Okay.
Tell us about your Christmas.
What a wild Christmas it was.
Yeah.
Well, I started out the day in a really relaxed way. Cooking, we made the food, we did everything. And then I went over to a friend's place who invited me over for some wine in the evening. So I thought I was going to have a really nice, relaxed Christmas evening. And anyway, arrived at this house and realized about an hour into drinking wine with everyone that there'd been some cocaine enjoyed in the bathroom before I arrived. So
do people do that sort of thing down under? Do tell. I thought you all just got, you just had shrimps and Barbies. There's wine and other things.
I think they're so desperate for a white Christmas that they'll just make it happen any way that they can. But I was not impressed. I was not amused. So I left and now conversation with the person that invited me over there to make sure that never happens again. So yeah, that was Christmas. we went from eggnog in the morning for breakfast to trying to shield myself from the energy of cocaine enjoyers, which for anyone who doesn't know what that's like, if you're not on coke and you're around people that are on cocaine, they're awful. It's like they're emitting some kind of EMF frequency and they're in their own space. You can't match that energy. It's a bad vibe. So to make it up to myself, because I left feeling so shitted with the situation, I went and taught myself how to roller skate.
That's appropriate. That's appropriate. Rollers from a coke party to roller skating. I'm sure we can find some meaning in that.
I just wanted to be sort of kicking myself forward and like enjoying my own neurochemistry. So I did that. I fell over a bunch of times. It's really hard.
Well, the roller skating has not happened with any regularity since I was in middle school, and not in this house, in the previous house. And we used to, if I thought about it hard, I might be able to recall all the songs that we skated to. Those were the days. I'm telling you, I know how old I am. My brother was in a antique store here in my mom's town and found one of the old yearbooks from my high school that I was in the antique store. That's yes. Wow. I can have dog park cred say, yes, I'm visiting, but I went to high school here. That's how old it is here. But the roller skating, that's even older than my high school days. So you're taking me back in time now. But you were telling me about some of the conversation that ensued at the Christmas party, and I think that will help us. Although I think the feeling of being on the wrong vibe with people on the wrong drug is actually very appropriate to our theme tonight.
Yeah, well, it was just bizarre. So, like I'm sure many other people, I had conversations with people that were at that party prior to Christmas Day, and others that are around, because I get super excited for Christmas, and I say Merry Christmas, and immediately I'm greeted with the response that, oh, well, I don't celebrate Christmas.
Ooh, they're at a Christmas party. Why? How can they not be celebrating Christmas? That's like an oxymoron. They're literally at a Christmas party, not celebrating Christmas. Go for it.
I know.
That's ridiculous.
It's like people saying we're refusing to acknowledge the incarnation, but still referring to history in the timeline of the incarnation. So you say, what year is it? Oh, it's 2022. 2022 since what?
Since what? Yes, exactly.
But how
can they be anti-celebrating the thing that they're celebrating? I just unpack this for me a bit. Yes, I'm going to get so drunk trying to.
You want me to go deep?
Yes, I do, because my throat is not going to. I need to lubricate it some more before I can really start preaching here.
All right. So how would I even begin to explain this? So, but yeah, that was the response to the Christmas greeting, and then another interesting conversation with someone who said, "Oh, I just hate Christmas." I said, "Why do you hate Christmas?" She said, "I don't like the commercialization aspect of everything." And started going through the pressure of buying gifts and the pressure of being happy around people, and the expectation that you have to return gifts if they're given to you, etc. So I kind of mentally catalogued her reasons, and then of course this woman has previously said to me, well, there's an argument that it's not even Christ's birthday. So when I in my enthusiasm said Merry Christmas, I'm so excited for it, and she goes, really, why? I said, because it's the birth of our Lord. And she said, well, there's evidence that it's not even Christ's birthday. So
not the right date? How dare you? How dare you wish people Merry Christmas on a date that could not be the actual date? Okay. Yeah. So we have one saying it's too commercial, and by the way, it's not really the right date. Okay.
Yes. And then what were the other
reasons? Which suggests the date matters. That's interesting.
Apparently.
Okay. Apparently getting the date right matters. Okay.
So we have the date issue, the commercialization aspect, the Santa enthusiasm, that we're teaching children to be consumers by requesting presents from Santa, and an unnecessary encouragement of becoming consumers instead of focusing on what it really means, even though the same person wouldn't focus on what it really means because she's not practicing Christianity. So the cocaine was the least insane thing that I encountered in that few hours.
It sounds like it. Okay, so we have the date. The date bugs people because it might not really be the date. That there should be some real meaning to Christmas that's not about giving presents. Okay. Yeah. And that somehow or Santa. Okay. Anything else? It's remarkable how these things come up every time, isn't it?
It's always the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
List of things
every single year. I actually have blog posts. My voice is warming up now a little bit. After this stream, I will not have a voice for another week, so we better hope it comes back by the time I have to teach on campus next week. I've done blog posts on
Dragon Sign.
Yes, it's on Dragon Sign. I've done blog posts on things like, the commercialization. Oh, isn't it terrible that it's commercial? Which seems to come up regularly. The date thing I actually haven't written about, but that one's going to be that I want to start with that because I think that's an interesting problem. But there are other things typically. I mean, the cocaine. Nobody worried about that as a. It's like, is it appropriate to be having stimulants? I'm not even sure that's a question. Well, why would we be doing, drinking and stimulants around this date? The party.
Just a random day in December. There was a lot of food. There was a full
lot
spread.
Of food.
So it wasn't that there wasn't any, like, it wasn't an anti-feast. There was still feasting.
Feasting, okay.
So no one refused to eat the food. I'm trying to think of the additional criticism. Oh yes, it was the corruption of the church.
Ooh.
And that the
okay. Yes.
The church is corrupt and has basically presented this as a holiday. Despite the fact that the pagan world already had similar festivals.
So we have a set of feasts, which this lovely Sophia Press calendar is showing us, right? And it's like we have Christmas Day, and you were saying something about the corruption of the church. Go on with that.
Oh, this is I've heard this so many times in the last month. It's strange. December just brings out the anti-Catholicism in everybody.
Wait, say that again.
It's amazing.
This is really super duper important. Say that what you just said.
December brings out the anti-Catholicism in everybody.
Do you think
these crypto anti-Catholics that are hiding for the rest of the year just come out of the woodwork in December. And I had the great honor of being able to sit there and receive all of their really insightful criticisms that I've never heard before.
Oh, you've never heard them. You've never actually heard these criticisms before. Never.
I was being sarcastic.
I know, right? It's like we hear
it was
no. It's like this is. Sorry guys, the most boring live stream we're ever going to do because it's exactly the same things you hear every single year. And we are, I say we are going to, in vain hope of shutting everybody up, talk about it. Forever. No.
Like 2023, I don't want to hear any of this.
Exactly. We want to solve it tonight so that we never hear this again because it literally comes up every year. Now, isn't that interesting?
I mean, I've already blocked somebody. I think it was last week. I blocked somebody because I got text messages talking about how the Catholic Church is corrupt. It's the biggest landowner on the planet. Why should we be supporting them in these celebrations? Oh my gosh, just don't. Why of all people give this to me? But it's interesting. People, they give it to us as though they will be the ones to convince us that the church is illegitimate. It's like 2,000 years of Catholicism is going to be undone by pointing out that they own property. I just find like the mentality of this is very, very strange to me. Yeah. On top of the fact that everybody is obviously planning to celebrate the birth of Christ while grumbling about the fact that they're celebrating the birth of Christ.
Okay, so they still all come to the parties. And they complain about it every year. Do you think they complain about it if we did it in July?
Probably.
Okay. So this is and this is what I've been thinking about. It's like everybody ends up focusing on it and saying it's the wrong date, it's the wrong date, it's the wrong date, and you're like, okay, so let's do it some other time. Do we actually think, chat? Yes, Casey's saying, like hearing anti-marriage rants on your anniversary, anti-child rants on your kid's birthday. Kind of. It's almost as if the festival itself draws out all this stuff. So it's the wrong date. Okay, so if we'll change the date. If we found the right date, would you stop it? Do you think so? Do you think they would? So we have an entire calendar of festivals that the church celebrates. And every single year, the most animosity comes up around this one. Yeah. Do you think anybody did? I mean, yes. We had a little bit around Halloween. Maybe we had a little bit. We get a little bit, every August around Mary's Assumption. I bet most people. Well, no, we're Catholic. Everybody's watching is Catholic, but it's like today is the Feast of the Holy Innocents. Most people probably aren't worrying about that one, right? There's something about Christmas that we have to have these fights absolutely every year.
I'm chuckling because it's the people that deny it still can't help but celebrate it.
and I think they'd be having this fight wherever we had it in the calendar.